The police are at your door. She called them. She told them that you hit her. You didn't hit her. You know you didn't hit her. She knows you didn't hit her. But that doesn't seem to matter right now because they're asking you to step outside and your neighbors are watching and your kids are upstairs and everything you've built is suddenly hanging by a thread. Or maybe it's not the police. Maybe it's Child Protective Services investigating a report that you're endangering your children. Maybe it's your employer calling you into HR because they've received concerning information about you. Or maybe it's your own family, suddenly distant because of what they've heard. Maybe it's all of it, all at once. A coordinated destruction of everything you are. False allegations are one of the most devastating weapons within coercive control. And if you've ever been accused of something you didn't do by someone who knows you didn't do it, this episode is going to help you understand what's happening and why it is so effective. Today, we're going to break down what false allegations are and why they work so well as a control tactic. We'll look at the devastating harm they cause, harm that extends far beyond the legal outcome. Then we'll walk through 7 specific forms of false allegations take, from criminal records to social smear campaigns. And finally, I'll point you towards my video on how to respond when this happens to you. For those of you who are new here, this is Stand Again, a lived experience platform for male victims of family violence. Abuse is not limited to one gender, but this channel focuses on the male perspective because it is so often dismissed or misunderstood. If this content helps you, please like, subscribe, and add the word Stand Again into the chat. I need to help this channel grow. And those 2 words will help the algorithm recognize that this topic is important. Let's start with the definition. False allegations are formal or informal accusations of criminal behavior, abuse, or misconduct made with the knowledge that they are untrue or substantially distorted. The tactic works by weaponizing institutional responses. Systems designed to protect victims are activated against you. The process itself, investigation, documentation, restriction, becomes punishment regardless of the outcome. The mechanism exploits deep cultural scripts about male danger and female vulnerability. A woman alleging violence from a man triggers institutional protocols designed to protect. Police respond, protective orders issue, child protection investigates. All of this happens before any finding is made. Your abuser weaponizes the very systems designed to protect abuse victims, knowing that they will respond to her claims and likely doubt yours. The core principle is this: the process is the punishment. She doesn't need to prove anything. She doesn't need her allegations to be substantiated. The allegation itself triggers a cascade of consequences that damage you regardless of the outcome. By the time you've been cleared, if you're ever fully cleared, the damage from the process is done. The threats of false allegations are common in coercive relationships. The harm that false allegations cause is profound and far reaching. The psychological destabilization is immediate and disorientating. You are being accused of something you didn't do by someone who knows you didn't do it. The cognitive dissonance from that is overwhelming. You know the truth, your abuser knows the truth, and yet the systems around you are responding as if your abuser's version is real. You might even start questioning yourself, wondering if you somehow did do something wrong, wondering if there's something you're not seeing. The gaslighting from your abuser may have already occurred in the relationship, and that intensifies as institutions seek to validate her false narrative. Your career can be destroyed. Allegations trigger HR investigations, professional licensing reviews, background check flags. Even when allegations are unsubstantiated, The investigation itself becomes part of your documented history. Future employees see that you were investigated. Colleagues learn what you were accused of. Your professional reputation carries the allegation forward even when it's unfounded. She attacks not just your current employment, but your future employability. Your social circle collapses. Friends withdraw. Family members become uncertain. In communities where believe women has become shorthand for moral positioning, questioning your abuser's account may itself seem abusive. You face a court of public opinion with no rules of evidence and no opportunity to defend yourself. By the time you learn what's been said, the judgment has already been rendered by people who will never hear your side. Your relationship with your children is weaponized. Allegations to child protection mean your children may be interviewed at school. Your home may be inspected. Your parenting may be scrutinized for any failure that confirms her narrative. Even when investigations find no concern, the documentation follows you into family court proceedings. You become a father who warranted investigation, a stain that doesn't wash out. And for some men, the weight becomes unbearable. The public branding as something you're not, the loss of career, of relationships, of access to your children, the impossibility of restoration even after being cleared, the isolation of being disbelieved by the systems that should protect you. The false allegations drive men to harmful behaviors. That harm can extend to the ultimate harm. And the people who deploy this tactic know exactly how much damage they can inflict. Even when allegations are not substantiated, the stain from them remains. You were investigated, you were questioned, you had protective orders filed against you. The allegations become part of your documented history, regardless of the outcome. Your reputation, employment, relationships, and relationship with the children may be permanently damaged by accusations that were never proven and were never true. The process is the punishment, and the punishment continues long after the process ends. False allegations take different forms depending on what systems she wants to weaponize against you. Let's walk through now 7 very specific ways that this tactic operates. The first is criminal allegations. False criminal allegations involve making reports to police that you've committed a criminal offense, typically assault, harassment, stalking, or threats. The tactic works by triggering state power against you. The criminal justice system's response to domestic violence allegations create immediate consequences. You may be arrested, removed from your home, and subject to no contact orders, all before any finding is made. The mechanism exploits the design of domestic violence response. Systems have been built to act quickly on allegations because delayed response in genuine cases costs lives. That speed, which is designed to protect genuine victims, becomes a weapon when exploited by an abusive person. She presents as frightened. The immediate presentation, which is a distressed woman and a calm or angry man, may read as confirmation of the story your abuser tells. You're processed through a system that responds rapidly to allegations, a speed that protects genuine victims but destroys innocent ones when weaponized. She may call police to report an alleged assault that never happened, file stalking or harassment complaints based on normal contact, claim you made threats that didn't occur, frame your defensive actions during her aggression as an attack. Or she may even coordinate allegations with visible injuries she's inflicted, either on herself or by exploiting a completely unrelated incident, like her tripping or falling, which had nothing to do with you. The second form is child protection reports. False child protection reports involve making allegations to child protective services that you are abusing, neglecting, or endangering your children. The tactic works by triggering investigations that creates documentation regardless of outcome. Child protection systems are designed to err on the side of caution. Even unfounded allegations generate records, home visits, and professional scrutiny that follow you for years. The mechanism exploits the protective mandate of child services. Investigators must take allegations seriously because failing to investigate genuine abuse has catastrophic consequences. You must prove your adequacy as a parent to professionals who begin with documented concerns. Your children may be interviewed at school, your home may be inspected, your parenting may be scrutinized for any failure that confirms your abuser's narrative. The investigation itself communicates to children, schools, and family courts that you are a person who warranted investigation. She may make anonymous tips about your parenting, report fabricated incidences of abuse or neglect, exaggerate normal parenting decisions into safeguarding concerns, coach children to make disclosures to investigators, time reports to coincide with custody proceedings, make repeated reports despite prior findings of no concern. Each report creates another layer of documentation, another investigation, another stain on your record as a father. The third form is professional allegations. Professional allegations involve making false reports to employers, licensing boards, or professional organizations designed to damage your career, income, and your professional reputation. The tactic works by attacking your economic foundation and professional identity. Employment is often central to how you see yourself. Threatening your career threatens your sense of who you are. The mechanism exploits the seriousness with which employers treat allegations. HR departments, professional boards, and licensing bodies must investigate complaints. The investigation process, formal inquiry, documentation, potential suspension, creates professional jeopardy regardless of outcome. Background checks, surface investigations. Colleagues learn that you were accused of something. Your professional reputation carries the allegation forward, even when that allegation is unfounded. Your abuser may contact your employer with accusations of misconduct, file complaints with licensing boards or professional organizations, send documentation of concerns to workplace HR departments, allege that your professional conduct is related to domestic issues, time allegations to coincide with performance reviews or promotions, make reports to industry regulators about ethic violations. Each attack on your professional standing is calculated to cause maximum damage to your financial stability and sense of self. The fourth form of false allegation is social allegations. False social allegations involve spreading accusations through informal networks, friends, family, community, that you are abusive, dangerous, or just dysfunctional. The tactic works through social contamination rather than formal investigation. Unlike allegations that trigger institutional responses, social allegations operate through gossip, implication, and community judgment. There is no due process, no opportunity to respond, no finding of fact. The mechanism exploits the viral spread of social information and the impossibility of defending yourself against accusations you can't see. In communities where questioning her account may itself seem abusive, you face a court of public opinion with no rules of evidence and no opportunity to cross examine. By the time you learn what has been said, the judgment has been rendered by people who will never hear your side. She may tell mutual friends that you were violent or threatening when you weren't. Post vague but alarming statements on social media. Confide her fears to community members who then go off and spread misinformation. Frame herself as a survivor of your abuse in social settings. Encourage others to share their concerns about you publicly, or create the impression that she is in danger from you. The social world turns against you without ever hearing from you directly. The fifth form is medical allegations. False medical allegations involve making claims to healthcare providers about injuries, symptoms, or psychological distress allegedly caused by you. The tactic works by creating medical documentation that can then be weaponized in legal proceedings. Medical records carry particular weight because they appear objective. A documented injury, a recorded disclosure, a noted psychological presentation, these become evidence regardless of their accuracy. The mechanism exploits the documentation practices of healthcare. Providers record what patients report. The report becomes medical fact. That fact follows you into every subsequent legal proceeding. The emergency department nurse who documented her disclosed injury did not investigate whether the disclosure was true. The mental health provider who noted her trauma history did not verify the alleged cause. She creates a paper trail that looks like objective evidence but reflects only her strategic disclosure. Your abuser may present to emergency departments with injuries that she claims to be from you, or disclose abuse history to mental health providers for their documentation, or attribute her psychological symptoms to your alleged behavior. Here, the medical system becomes an unwitting participant in building a case against you. The sixth form is financial allegations. Financial allegations involve claims of financial abuse, fraud, theft, or economic misconduct. The tactic works by creating legal exposure and shaping the narrative of the relationship. You become framed as an economic predator rather than a partner. In divorce proceedings, financial allegations influence asset division, support calculations, and judicial perceptions of your character. The mechanism exploits the complexity of marital finances and the difficulty of disproving vague claims. She may allege hidden assets, undisclosed income, or financial exploitation without specific evidence. The allegation itself triggers investigation, disclosed requirements, and forensic accounting, all of which cost money and delay resolution. Even when the allegations are unsubstantiated, the process of disproving them drains the resources she claims you are hiding. She may accuse you of hiding assets or income, claim you stole her property or money, allege fraud in business dealings that you shared, or report suspected financial crimes to authorities. Or she might even frame legitimate financial decisions as exploitation, all to create documentation of financial abuse for court proceedings. The financial allegation becomes another front in a multi directional attack against you. The last form of false allegation we'll talk about today is institutional allegations. Institutional allegations involve making false reports to religious organizations, community groups, or other institutional bodies that you've violated their standards of conduct. The tactic works by levering institutional authority and community standing. Religious and community institutions can impose sanctions, exclusions, and social consequences without the procedural protections of legal systems. The mechanism exploits the trust based nature of institutional belonging. You may have been part of a religious community, or a club, or a professional association, or even just a neighborhood group. These institutions often have processes for addressing concerns about member conduct, but those processes rarely include the evidentiary standards or procedural protections from legal proceedings. So she can make claims to these bodies that would never survive scrutiny in court, but that result in your exclusion, sanction, or social isolation within communities that matter to you. She may report you to church leadership for abuse or moral failure, or she could file complaints with community organizations about your conduct, or contact volunteer organizations that you are involved with. Or she might even reach out to your hobby groups or social clubs with concerns. Anywhere you have institutional belonging becomes a potential target for allegations designed to strip away your community and your support. False allegations require a specific and detailed response. The stakes are too high and the dynamics are too complex to cover adequately at the end of this video. I have a separate video dedicated entirely on how to respond when you're facing false allegations, covering documentation, legal considerations, communication strategies, and how to protect yourself when the systems around you have been weaponized. If you are currently facing false allegations, or if you're in a relationship where you suspect they may be coming, I strongly encourage you to watch that video. The link is in the description. What I will say here is this: you're not powerless, even when it feels like the entire world has been turned against you. There are strategies that work, there are ways to protect yourself, and there are people who understand what you are going through. In coercive control, false allegations are one of the most brutal tactics. They weaponize systems designed to protect victims. They exploit cultural assumptions about who can be dangerous and who can be believed. They cause harm that extends far beyond any legal outcome. They damage your career, your relationships, your mental health, your relationship with your children, and in the worst case, your will to continue living. If you're facing this right now, I want you to know that being accused doesn't make you guilty. Being investigated doesn't make you an abuser. Being disbelieved doesn't mean you're wrong. The systems that are being used against you were built without considering that they could be weaponized this way. That's not your fault, and it doesn't mean you deserve what is happening to you. The process is the punishment, but the process is not the end. You can survive this. You can come through this. And when you do, you'll understand something about yourself that you didn't know before, that you're stronger than you thought, that the truth, even when it is not believed, is still the truth. This is Stand Again, lived experience platform for male survivors of family violence. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your voice might just help another man find his. If you're looking for one on one support, you can book coaching with a member of the Stand Again team. Simply visit standagain.com.au, where you will also find grounded information on surviving and recovering from family violence as a man. As always, remember that no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you can stand again.